name is Titilayo Belo. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a women's wear designer. The name of my label is Titibelo. I love Nigeria because doing business here is very easy. It might seem like it is. Yes, there are setbacks, but I feel like I would rather do what I do here than anywhere else. My favorite dish, I love yam. Anything that is made with yam. That's the only thing I know how to make. My favorite song at the moment, I can't really say, to be honest. I don't think I have one. But it's not like I go and listen to a particular one. I think it just depends on my mood. But I know that I like a lot of songs from like the late 90s to early 2000s. It usually brings like a lot of nostalgia for me from like when I was in uni, secondary school, yes. I usually listen to a lot of that, especially when I want to do a new collection. Like on my YouTube page, I have this playlist that has a lot of songs from like early 2000s. Just takes me back to that time, and it's very good for when I want to work. For real, I would say my family, my parents, especially my dad. Then fictional, of course, Beyonce, and sometimes maybe Batman. Okay, there were these designers, but right now they don't design anymore. Their name was Kushney & Oaks. I think now they split. But yes, Kushney & Oaks was like my favorite brand for the longest. I liked everything that they did, and they were pro-women as well. So everything about their brand I loved. But that's for fashion. But for a non-fashion brand, I would say I love Canva. It's good for like graphic designs and all of that, but I just love like the story behind it. Their CEO, everything is just very inspirational. It just shows that you can achieve whatever it is that you really want to if you put your mind to it, if you're consistent and all of that. Yeah, so I would say like those are like my two favorite all-time brands. A specific African favorite brand, yes, for fashion I love Bridget Awoshika. She's one of my favorite Nigerian designers. Yeah. My brand does women's wear. So from Fashion Week that people got to know about our brand, this was in 2014. So we're part of the young designers that were shortlisted for 2014. And then we did Fashion Week 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. 2018, we didn't do Fashion Week, but 2019 we did Fashion Week in Ghana. 2020, of course, COVID. Last year too was a bit dicey. But this year we're hoping to do Fashion Week in Lagos and in Ghana as well. Well, it was inevitable, to be honest. It's my name, and it was like the simplest way to go. Tried to like get a different name for the longest time, but I felt like it was going to take away from the identity of the brand, so I decided to go with mine. The brand started in 2013. That was when we released our first ever collection. Then our first debut at Fashion Week was in 2014, but then we started producing to sell in late 2015. So yes, I would say late 2015. Regarding my family and me doing fashion, so in the beginning I wanted to do fashion, but then fashion school in the UK was expensive, so I had to choose the closest thing, which was architecture. So I studied architecture at University of Lagos. After uni, I was still doing my fashion thing, and they realized, oh, okay, she really wants to do this thing, and then they were like, oh, you have our blessing, and took off from there. I know they are very much involved in everything that I do. Yes, my family loves everything that I do. They are all my fashion shows, all my pop-up shows, everything. Yeah. The hardest thing I would say when I started with like setting up the production line, because definitely I was a young designer, I didn't have a lot of funds, we didn't have the traction, so it was really difficult like getting your name out there. But then with being part of the young designers at Fashion Week in 2014, that was really good for the brand. At least a couple of people got to know us. Then with time we started getting a few orders. I remember I first started production in my living room. I think I was in my living room up until 2017. Yes, and it was end of 2017 I moved into my first studio. To be honest, setting up my brand wasn't difficult because I know what I wanted to do. So it was just me setting up the production, to be very honest. I think that was like the main challenge, setting up production. It was for the brand. I already knew what I wanted to do. I already had my designs, I already had everything. It was just okay. Now it's time to get customers, which is marketing. Then also it's time to get the production studio set up, so which is labor and all of that. The hardest person in the business now? Well, why Nigeria, power is the main issue that a lot of entrepreneurs face. So I would say power, then after that maybe labor. The thing that I enjoy the most is everything. I can't really like say there's a particular thing. I just love the whole process of having an idea, sketching it, bringing it to life. It's just really amazing. The whole process, to be very honest, there's really nothing in particular. Even though the end can be a bit tedious, like let's say we have all our designs, then trying to do a photo shoot. The photo shoots are not as glamorous as they seem. It can be a lot of work. Then after that, trying to market the products to customers, to trying to get customers to buy. Then if we have to do a pop-up, all of those can be very stressful. But at the end, it's usually worth it. For the amount of people, I think currently in-house we have about 9 people. But then sometimes whenever we have like a lot of work, we usually like outsource. So we have about 5 or 6 people that we outsource to. Yes, whenever there's like peak periods, because we know there are sometimes like summer, Christmas, holidays basically, usually peak periods. Oh no, all very. So for the staff I work with, I'm very women, pro women. Challenges for African women in business are numerous, but a lot of us are starting to break the bias. Well, if that goes, yes. Yeah, there are a lot of challenges, because even I remember when I first of all started out, I had a couple of male tailors, and it was a bit, they had like issues with leadership, there were issues with leadership and all of that, and I just realized, well, I can't do this. I noticed that it was easier for me to work with women. I'm sure other people have a different experience, but for me, yes, so. The Lagos Fashion Week. So every year they do this thing called X Retail, where different vendors would come together and people would come and shop physically. But then because of COVID, they had to move it online. So they partnered with Afrikrea. So that was how we got on Anka. So yes, so that was it. And then even after, I think it was for like 2 weeks, but because it was going so well, they extended it to a month. And even after that, we still decided to stay on it because yes, we saw the traction from it and we saw that it was really good for us. So we just decided to stay there. Because the truth is that the business, you cannot just have one channel. You need like as many as possible. So Anka was really good for when it came to like international customers, shipping and all of that. So we just decided to stay there. And we've been there for about 2 years now. I think this is going to be, this is going to be the second year this August. And it's been going really well. And I always tell everybody that I know, like other entrepreneurs, other designers, not even necessarily for like fashion, because they sell everything, skincare, hair, everything. Or even if you are just there for just the shipping, because I know there are some people there that just register it's really, and it's very affordable. You don't necessarily need to break the bank, to be very honest. So joining Anka was actually like a step in the right direction for us. It opened us up to a lot of international customers, it was just like an amazing feeling to see that there are people in other parts of the world that actually appreciate what you do. And I think my favorite part about Anka was the review section, because normally yes, you get feedback here, but reviews is not really like our culture in Nigeria. But slowly I've noticed that people are starting to like embrace it as well. But abroad they are really huge on it, and it's just amazing when people would get your items and they are like very detailed with the reviews. And like even like when you make a garment, there's like a lot of stuff that you put into it and making sure that it is quality and all of that. And then someone receives it on another part in another part of the world, and they emphasize on these things that you do. Look, oh, I love the quality, I love the color, I love the texture. It's just amazing. It's like you feel like the person was there when you were doing it and they know what you had in mind, but whereas they weren't. It just shows that you're communicating even with what you are doing. So yes, I would say that I love Anka for that, and of course the reduced shipping rates. Yes, so yeah, basically that's just connecting us to like different people in different parts of the world. We deliver to like I'm not even sure if I will get to those countries, but hopefully I will get to those countries like Martinique, Guadeloupe. Is just really amazing. Okay, my favorite Anka service, like I said, the reviews and shipping. For someone who isn't on Anka yet, the first thing I always tell them is the shipping rates are amazing. That's the first thing, because everybody's looking for the cheapest way to ship abroad, especially from a country like Nigeria. Shipping rates are amazing, one. Then two, it introduces you to a whole new set of customers, like people that, these are not people like that necessarily know your brand from, okay, they know your brand from your brand, maybe they try to order on your brand but shipping derailed them, so they decided to go on Anchor. These are like a whole new set of people entirely that have never heard of your brand and are going to help your brand because of Anchor. So that alone is like a unique selling point, to be very honest. For someone that is just starting business, I would say be consistent. That's the thing. That's the only advice that I can give you. Consistency is very, very important. People underrate it a lot. And to be honest, I don't blame a lot of people, because with the way everything is now, the whole tech thing, people just think, oh, okay, just sharp. But they don't realize that there are some downtimes, because even I've been on Anchor, I think maybe this was like late last year or something, and for like 2 whole months, nothing. A lot of people would have closed down their shop, but I still continued, because one needs to realize that even as people, we have peak periods and we have times that, okay, I really don't want to buy anything, and we have times that, oh, okay, I want to go all out. So if you are consistent, if you are still out there, at least one day someone will be like, okay, let me even see what this person is even doing, and from there they take an interest in what you do. So yes, I would say consistency. But this year we're hoping to do Fashion Week in Lagos and in Ghana as well. Well, till Fashion Week, so that'll be in October. Really, the new collection should be out in October. We haven't done a collection in the longest. That's amazing. Am I looking forward to it? I'm very anxious. Nothing, just buy Titibelo.